Template enhancements, drawing the links. In this lesson, we will enhance our template to add links between the various items. This will require us to edit our data source as well as amend our Tableau workbook. So let's do this together. Firstly, let's open up our worksheet in Excel. So with our Excel data source open, let's think about how we can add the links information. What we can do is just add additional rows to represent the links. We have the start and the end point. The challenge with this is that one, if we move our items around, we have to update the links as well, and that can become very cumbersome. So what I propose is that we create a new sheet and we call this links. And what we will do is that we will perform some VLOOKUPs, and in Tableau we can union the items and the links together to create a single table. So in a data source they'll be separate, so it'll be easier to manage, and then in Tableau we just merge it as if it's one. So what does this look like? Again, let's add some IDs. We're going to create 6 links, so we're going to call it link 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 links in our data set. We can have infinite number. What I want, however, is to have a start item and an end item. So what we will then do is have a start X, end X, start Y, and end Y. So I'm just going to put this in quickly. So I'll just draw some links between items. Again, the key is that you could enter in this yourself, but the data sources are available. The important thing is to understand the concept. Is that instead of entering the start X and end Y and the starting coordinates for the links, especially given that you might want to move the items around, let's make it dynamic. So what I want to do is in X, I want us to leverage the famous VLOOKUP. So let's take the start item, B, and let's see if we can find where the start X. Remember, because it's the link, you want the end of the starting item. So let's actually click on the formula builder, it helps. So let's take the table array. Let's take all of this, press enter. What I want to do, let me try that again. So let's go to items, select all, press enter. And what I actually want for the first one is that I want 1, 2, 3, 4 because I want the end. So I'm just going to type 4 and then I'm going to put false because I want an exact match. Let's click OK. So for the first link, it will go from the end of item 1, which in this case is 2. Perfect. Now let's adjust the formula a bit. I want to put $signs in front, mainly to fix the lookup table. And let's populate. So the key here is that if we move item 1 around, we don't have to worry about the links because it's now all dynamically generated. Let's copy this, copy the formula. However, we will probably have to adjust this slightly. So firstly, we want to look at the C column. So we want the end and we want the start of it. And in our case, that will be column number 3. Let's drag that down. Because the key is, remember, we want the end of item 1 and the start of item 2. So this is what we're dealing with. Nice and simple. Let's just expand this and do the same thing for the Y coordinates. So let's take the formula. Let's copy the VLOOKUP. Paste it in. oops, I want us to edit this formula now. And again, we want B2 and we want the 6th column. Again, if you're an Excel guru, this will become, well, this will be very second nature. If not, there's always opportunity to brush up on your Excel. So I want the 5th column. And I want C, yes. So let's think about this. These are now relative. We can enter in our start and end, and what we'll do is we'll get an item or a link item with the coordinates relative to the following. Nice and simple. Let's save this and let's open this in Tableau. So let's save it on your desktop somewhere and let's open it in Tableau. So with our template workbook open, what I want us to do is the following. As I save the file in a different location because I want version 1, version 2, let's click edit data source, edit connection, and make sure you find your updated file, and let's load it into Tableau. As you can see, nothing has changed. However, we now have links. So what I want us to do is take this and drop it underneath. There you go. So what we've done now is union these two items together. You can see table name. I'm just going to call this type. I can hide the sheet because I don't really want that. The table name is a duplicate. But you can see we have types and we have links now. We also have 2 columns, start item, end item. We don't actually need to see this anymore. So let's hide this. And what we have is very simply links and items in a single sheet. Let's go to our sheet. And as you can see, something very interesting has happened. We now have these being connected. This is pretty nice. So to make things very clear and clean, the first thing I want us to do is take type and drop it into size. As you can see, there is some lines between. However, items are small, size are big. Let's edit this. Let's reverse. Click apply. And let's adjust so we get something that we can actually manage nicely. I think that should do it. Maybe a bit smaller. Let me just click OK and move the type here. So first things first, we can see that we have the link is come automatically, and this is pretty awesome. So what do we need to do though is that we haven't actually adjusted our calculation in the event that the line actually goes up and down. Because remember, we have a TC size, but that only took into account the length. So let's rename this, because in honesty, that should be X size. Let's duplicate this, shall we? Let's edit this. And now let's create a Y. Nice and easy. So we're doing the same thing. Now, do you remember when we went to rows and columns? You can see there's a very big difference. One has this addition. But what if we also add this to our rows? What happens then? Remember, this is now Y. Let's have a look. Let's click apply. Let's go to rows, compute using, path bin. And here we have it. We now have the following. What I want us to do is change this to a line. And here we have it. We have, as you can see, the birth of our data visualization. So think about what we've done. We've added a way of getting links into our data sets. We then modified our template because we didn't take into account the fact that each of these bars can actually be angled. So now we have our connected links. We've modified our workbook. Let's save this and let's move on to the next lesson where we'll add some spice to this and we will see if we can curve these lines. So I'll see you in the next lesson.